What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday mornings U.S. time. So come by and say hello. Okay, one thing that I wanted to call out as, I guess, another follow-up to be as like a warning or PSA for this upcoming season or the season that we're currently in, and I think is going to be a factor that changes certain patterns of behavior in the future, is just a reminder that the league tiers, right, like the interleague tiers or intra-league tiers, I should say, are still very, very important. And what do I mean by that? Well, you have Gold 3, Gold 2, Gold 1, and you're going to have those kind of divisions within each of the leagues. Now, when it comes to earning chests, it doesn't matter whether you're in Gold 3, 2, or 1. You're going to get a gold chest. So from that standpoint, a lot of people were looking at divisions and being like, oh, well, you know, what is really the point of that outside of rating? Now, rating is still important because with the new changes, you are going to get a higher, you know, it's your rating cube. So the higher your rating goes, it's exponentially more rewards technically. But where this comes into play is the end of season. And I will walk you through this and then tell you where I think, you know, certain patterns of behavior are going to shift towards as we settle into the new format or the new ranked rewards update. So for myself, for example, I play in gold primarily. So this is where I'm going to give the example, but it's going to be interchangeable with any of the divisions across any of the leagues. So wherever you are at, you know, you can just apply this to that. So if I play in gold, what I was doing before, right, was I would play in gold. I would get as high as I could, and then I would try to scrape together as much power, rent, or have someone delegate to me to finish in diamond. And that was good for the previous format, or the format that we're currently in, because then I would get more season rewards, right? And all the chests are the same, so getting 40 chests rather than 30 chests obviously makes a big difference, right? There's no difference between the chests, not yet. But the thing is, it's all about where you start the next season, not just where you finish. So if I were to follow this kind of template now and then move up into diamond, whether that's in the season or at the end of the season, one thing that I would like to avoid, or that I will probably change my first pattern of behavior, and we've talked about this before, is the fact that I don't want to be earning diamond chests for most of the season, because that would mean I'd need to play in diamond for most of the season to start earning. And if you look at the reward shares here, so for example, you're going to have, you know, let's say I go up to diamond. Well, now in order to get one chest in diamond, I need to get 43,000 reward shares. Now, when I win a game, the average reward shares in gold versus diamond is 12,000, or we'll just say 13,000 versus 34,000. So I would need to win 3 times as many games in gold to get a single, you know, chest for diamond, which is what I would be eligible for if I jumped up this season. So looking at that first pattern of behavior is, well, maybe I don't want to jump into gold. Or maybe I don't want to jump into diamond. Maybe I do want to stay in gold. So this brings us to the main point of this video, because we've already talked about that. But now, where I start the following season is going to be very important. So we already talked about if I was in Diamond 3, then I would start all the way back at 1900, which is technically Gold 3. So I have to work my way all the way up from Gold 3 just to get back into Diamond, playing with a deck that I don't really have maxed out for Diamond. So now the incentive is, well, maybe I just stay in gold. And if that's the case, well, then I want to get to the highest level of gold, right? Well, yes, exactly. And very, very much so. Because if I were to finish in gold 1, then I would drop down into silver 1. And I would have that same issue where all of a sudden gold wins get you 4x more reward shares than silver wins, right? And again, this is all like averages here, but it should be, even if these numbers aren't perfect, because I know they need to come back and potentially tweak some of them, the logic is the same, that you're going to be earning more in gold versus silver, earning more in diamond versus gold. So what ends up happening is, if I'm going to finish in gold, then I want to make sure that I get at least into Gold 1, because then that means I end up in Silver 1, which means I would only need to jump up 300 rating to get back into Gold and start earning more reward shares or R shares for each win. If I were to finish in Gold 3 or even Gold 2, that would drop me back down to Silver 3 or Silver 2 respectively, and would make that climb much more difficult. And all the while, I would be earning silver reward shares for gold chests because I finished in gold last season, or at least gold was the highest league that I had attained. So I think what will end up happening is, instead of people trying to jump up to the last or the highest that they can go, usually being like the last or the lowest division within a league, right? So Diamond 3 or Champ 3 or Gold 3, there's going to be a little bit more incentive now to stay in your lane, stay in your league, right? Because for me, I would want to stay in gold so that when I started the next season, I'm not struggling, not earning many chests because I'm playing silver for most of the time just to get back into gold. I would want to make sure that I end up at least in Gold 1 so that it would only take me hopefully a couple of matches to get back from Silver 1 into Gold 3, at which point then I'm somewhat safe because I can just start playing the game normally, since gold reward shares are paid out equally across, gold, or at least gold chests are earned equally across gold. Now, obviously, the higher your rating is, the more that you will be able to earn. So I obviously want to get up to the highest rating as possible. But this whole renting power at the end of the season, or getting delegated power at the end of the season to maximize your rewards, I don't know if that's going to be happening anymore. So there wasn't, I was even thinking that end of season rewards, or end of season rentals, I should say, are probably not going to be what they have been for the longest time with this new update. But even more so now, there's just going to be flat demand, like maybe even, well, not negative demand, but you understand what I'm saying, in the sense that like people don't want to go up. It's not a matter of like they do want to go up and they can't afford it. It's like literally people don't want to go up. They want to stay where they are at. So how is this going to impact behavior in the future? Well, unless you can get to the top division, right? So the Gold 1, Silver 1, Diamond 1 divisions, you probably don't want to stay, you probably don't want to be jumping up into the next tier, or the next league, I should say. So for myself, again, I'm looking at this from gold. I don't even have a maxed gold deck yet, but I feel very comfortable playing in gold. So the thing is, I wouldn't jump up to diamond until I knew that I could play in diamond, and not just play in diamond, but I would jump up once I knew that I could play in diamond and get to diamond 1. The reason for that, again, is because I will want to make sure that I end the season in Gold 1, so I'm not having to fight through all of the people in Gold just to get back to Diamond, where I will be earning chests and the reward shares will be much more important. So, these changes are going to have a lot of, unforeseen consequences, and I think they're going to change patterns of behavior. I mean, unforeseen to us, but I'm sure the team has looked through this. Although, yes, I'm sure there definitely is going to be some unforeseen circumstances. But either way, I'm excited for it. I think people have looked at this, and I saw some discussion in the Mav chat where, some folks were a little bit disappointed with it because it's not really incentivizing people to level up. But in other ways, it could incentivize people to maybe rent the cards that they need. So for example, I am playing in gold, and sure, I can be competitive in diamond, but I would be much more competitive if I rented out a couple of legendary summoners, a couple of extra cards or monsters, whatever the case is. So now the cost benefit analysis that I would need to do is, if I decide to start renting cards, which is not something that I have done for a long time. I only rent 2 cards every season, and I pay like less than a DEC for both of them. That is Furious Chicken and Creeping Ooze, and both of those are going to disappear with modern format. So for me now, it's just like, well, should I consider renting out certain cards to play in Diamond because the rewards in Diamond justify it? Well, that's going to be something to think about, and I think everybody's going to have to answer that question for themselves depending on where they're at. But again, just calling out that these tiers or interleague divisions definitely are still important and something to think about as you finish this season, the one that we are currently in, right? Like if you're going to try and stretch for one more time, just keep in mind, not only are you looking to set up where your rewards are for next season, but also be very mindful of where you're going to start the next season in order to start earning those new rewards. And obviously, this is the first kind of iteration that we're going to go through because we're shifting from one model to the next. But hopefully, this becomes smoother over time, and there won't be, people are going to probably spend a season or two figuring this out. But I would say that by the end of June or maybe like mid-July, once we've done 2 to 3 seasons, things should be a little bit more smooth, and people will start to see where they can stretch to, what the cost benefit analysis ends up being for moving up to different leagues, and then going from there. So that's all I have for you in this video, just something to think about. I will catch you all in the next one, and I will see you around the game. Take care.